In today's video, we're 3D printing a Toons style Lamborghini. And this has quite a few parts. But when this all comes together, it's beautiful. Now the original designer here, and the link to all the files are down below, has done a great job of recreating what I used to see as a kid back in school, when people would do drawings of sports cars and stuff, where they would do them with these like accentuated flared wheels, and they looked amazing. But this is the 3D equivalent, and it is freaking great. So first of all, I'm doing some painting here on the lights. Now the lights are actually separate. You can actually print them off, paint them up, and then just glue them on. But I really thought they looked pretty good here to embed into it. So instead I'm painting directly onto the plastic here. And I think at the end of the day, these actually end up looking really, really good in the final product that you're going to see. Now, there's a few different options here. There's a Cybertruck, there's a Porsche, and I'll definitely be doing these on the channel as well, because I've just fallen in love with these little models. We're also moving on to the rear lights now, so you can see that we're just going to, again, paint the red on here, and these are separate bits. You could paint them up separately and then glue them on, but again, I'm just going to add them on myself. Now, normally at this point in the video, I actually lay out everything we've printed off so you can see what it entails, but I really wanted to get this paint done, let it dry, and then look at everything afterwards. So we're doing a little bit more out of order of what I would normally have done. And of course, I've also gone for a nice green for this Lamborghini as well. Lamborghini used to be my favorite cars when I was interested in them back in the day. So glad to do this. Now, after letting it dry, this is what we have. And it looks pretty damn good. And yet again, it doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary yet. So here we have our tires. I decided to go with grey filament for the tires and then black for the rims. I wanted a nice contrast between the tires and the other parts of the vehicle. Now I could have painted stuff silver or stuff like that, but I really was having the feeling that this might look really good with grey tires rather than black. And these are all the parts. So we've got some axle bolts, we've got some exhausts, windows, and these are our actual lights. And of course, these are getting thrown away. No longer going to be using them with this. But of course, if you decide to 3D print this yourself, you can go ahead and use them if you want to make it a bit easier to do the paint job. But for me, I've now done all the painting that I'm going to do. So we're going to go ahead and start assembly. And overall, this is going to be quite easy. So the first thing to do is get the tires and the rims, and it's just real simple. You just put your glue in and then put the rims in, and that's it. You can pressure fit them too if you want, and as a result, they'll probably stay in place. But I decided just to put a bit of glue in there just to kind of be sure that they weren't going to come back out later. But overall, the design and shape of these means that they are probably not going to come out by themselves. And that is our wheels. And then we can start thinking about how all this is going to attach to the body, and it's all really pretty damn simple. So moving on to the body itself, we have our underside here. We've got an exhaust, which will be the first thing we attach, and it was actually extremely satisfying to put this in because it clicked in. I wasn't expecting that, and I actually had to take it off camera to give it a bit of force, but once it clicked in place, it was really good and solidly in there. Then we have to put our windows on. Then we're going to go back on the underside, add our pins in and our wheels, and then we'll be done. And it feels like a load of stuff. It feels like there's tons of little bits here, but really the whole thing comes together super quickly once you get building it, and it's just wonderful to make. I'm really impressed with these. So definitely going to do all of them. As you can see, a little teaser of another video there with a Cybertruck, but we'll also be doing a Porsche as well in the future. So yeah, flipped it over. We're going to do the windows now, which just means putting a bunch of glue down on the surface here, and of course then placing our windows on top, and then that'll be the top of these vehicles done, and it is looking brilliant. I'm really loving it. Great design, well thought out, very easy to print, very easy to assemble, and it looks so cool as well. You know, especially when we get the wheels on, it'll give that really cartoon vibe to it, which is just exactly what we're going after, and has been achieved by the designer of this. And then we'll just patiently wait for me, who is fast forwarding through the content here. And you can see I was having a bit of issues with this glue, even at 150% speed here. It still looks like I'm having a lot of trouble. But as we get this final window on, we are done with the top side. And I'm super happy with this. The paint job came out looking good, with, of course, just being the lights that I painted up, the rest being filament color. But I think it just looks oh so good. So yeah, let's go ahead and actually add on our wheels, and then that will be us on the home stretch. So yeah, pretty simple. We've got 4 wheels, we've got 4 pins that go into the bottom here, and yeah, that's it. There's nothing really to it. There's nothing complex about this at all, which is really nice. Well thought out when it comes to printing it, and well thought out when it comes to assembly. I'm very impressed all round with these models. Definitely recommend giving them a go, and they are free. Now, if you want, you can glue or pressure fit them here. I'm going to pressure fit them, but I do come back and glue them just to be sure, because I don't want these coming off one day. And they can technically rotate too, but I wouldn't expect to be using these as toys and rolling them around or anything like that. I think they're much better as a visual thing. And because they're so slanted, they definitely don't rotate perfectly. That's for sure. But they look great. They assemble really well. And yeah, overall, just loving it. Really cannot say enough good things about this at all. But yeah, there we go. That is our little Lambo. And you might be starting to see that kind of stylization now where the wheels are out. Now, of course, you can do that by changing the camber on a car, but not quite like this. This is how these cartoon vehicles used to be drawn, where those tires, of course, aren't in a shape that is realistic at all, but you can really see how that lovely flared look comes across. And yeah, love that someone's taken that cartoon version that people used to draw and made it into a real thing that you can actually print off, and visually I think looks absolutely stunning. So I'm super happy with this. I think it looks great, and it was an absolute joy to 3D print and assemble, and even just a teeny little bit of painting as well. And it's good that you do have the options of the additional pieces for the lights. So if you want to actually paint them up separately and then just glue them on, that's totally doable. But I loved actually using the holes that were there for them to help with the painting. And yeah, really magnificent. I'm loving how this is, and we'll definitely be back with the Porsche version and a Cybertruck version that this guy's also done as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.